Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Chronic Health Collective. I'm so happy to see you here today. I'm Christy Boyd Johnson, and at the Chronic Health Collective, we empower you to transform every area of your life. We've gathered the best coaches and experts in the world to bring you weekly insights that will elevate your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Whether you're looking to boost your energy, heal relationships, or live a more productive, balanced life, we're here to guide you every step of the way. And I am so excited because tonight we are joined by a true health transformation expert, our own Andy Nom.
Hey, Christy.
Hey, Andy. Andy is a life coach specializing in functional nutrition and longevity, international speaker, best-selling author, and biohacker. Andy's journey began after a devastating accident left him with severe injuries and chronic pain. Told his health would only decline, he refused to accept that fate. Instead, he took control, reversed his own chronic conditions, and transformed his life using cutting-edge strategies in functional nutrition, detoxification, phototherapy, and stem cell activation, proving that the body can heal when given the right tools. Today, Andy is on a mission to help you and me unlock the secrets of living longer, feeling younger, and optimizing every aspect of your health. Alongside his lovely wife, Minna Wong, he co-founded The Chronically Healthy Life, a movement dedicated to lowering inflammation, reversing aging, and empowering people to thrive, not just survive. Andy, oops. Today, I understand we are talking about uh, self-love as the foundation for a healthy life.
Yeah, I think it'd be an interesting topic to talk about to round up February.
Absolutely. So, you know, a lot of people, I think, wonder what it actually means to practice self-love. Do you, can you kind of go into that a little bit?
Yeah, it's interesting because even self-love is relatively new to me too. It's probably in the last 10 years when I started, studying professional development that I start understanding what self-love is. A lot of people think self-love is talking about your ego, right? And a lot of people have big egos. Well, that's not self-love, right? That's like loving yourself, but that's not self-love, right? It took me a while, even in these last 10 years, as on my healing journey, that self-love is about listening to your body, listening to everyone that's around you, and how does that affect you, not just physically but emotionally too, right? So
Mhm.
I think self-love, we also need that. It's almost like that mental reset, and we all do it differently. Some people work out in the gym to get into that zone, some people like to meditate, um some people just like to be around people, right? So it just really depends on what your method is to get into that zone. So you're feeling that, we have to love ourselves because, we really can't take care of others if we're not in the right health or mental space, right?
Absolutely. So, Andy, I know your story about the accident that you had, but I think our viewers would like to hear your journey because I definitely feel that the transformation you made was starting to practice self-love and heal your body was
Mhm.
involved in that. So, can you kind of share your story a little bit?
Yeah, so it all started a long, long time ago. No, it all started like, a few weeks before graduation of high school. And during that time, I was traveling to meet my girlfriend, and going through a traffic light. I was going through a traffic light, and then I got T-boned by a one-ton truck going, they ran the red light. And basically, it put me in the hospital. It fractured my neck. It bent my back. It dislocated a few bones, and other things were broken inside. And to make a long story short, over the next 10, 15, 20 years, I was getting more chronic pain from all the injuries, from all the places that broke. But more so, I was like just tired all the time. I was angry. My gut was all messed up, and I was not a nice person to be around. Like, I was able to let my ego come out and pretend everything was okay, right? Because that's just basically how I was brought up. My dad was, "Oh, man up, if it hurts, don't let anyone know that it hurts," right? And that's what I did for like 20, 30 years. I manned up. But like, it got to the point that by the time I hit 40, and I was asking all my doctors at that time, I was seeing specialists. I'm thinking, prescription pain medication just to get out of bed. And I was asking my doctors, and I was asking, well, when's things gonna get better, right? Like, I'm on all this medication, I'm on all these different therapy. I was hoping things would be getting better rather than getting worse, right? Because I'm getting older, and it was, I was seeing how it's starting to affect my wife, which happened to be the girlfriend that I was driving to that started this whole shebang. But the thing that's really been amazing is she's been with me through the whole journey. And a lot of people don't see how strong she was, because like, I was a bitch to be around. I really was. Right.
So if we go back just a little bit to when you were deteriorating, and they were telling you, just you're gonna exponentially age faster and be crippled, and you just get over it, and
Mhm.
basically we can't help you. How did that affect your relationship with Minna?
It was tough because it was, when I was 21, when I was seeing my bone specialist, he was saying, well, by the time you're 30, you're gonna have the help of a 70-year-old, like a old 70-year-old, not a healthy 70-year-old, but like, in his mind, you're gonna be walking around on a cane or whatever. And that scared the bejesus out of me. And in my 20s, it just drove me to work harder.
Mm.
Right. But meanwhile, since I didn't know how to take care of my body, the harder I worked, the faster I was breaking my body down. So it almost became a self-fulfilling prophecy, because my body's already breaking down, and all the stuff I was eating bad, I was staying late, and stuff like that. I didn't know what the healing modalities were back then. You only,
Mhm.
what the doctors do is like, go exercise, eat better. What really does that mean? And I was
Mhm.
taking all sorts of vitamins along with all their pain medication. And yeah, it's like in the next 10, 20 years, it's like, oh my God, like my health just went straight downhill. It wasn't slow, it wasn't down really fast, to the point that, sitting for more than 10 minutes or standing for more than 10 minutes at a time was extremely painful. But once again, like, I let my ego come out, and no one knew about it.
Mm. Yeah. So during this time, was Minna suffering right alongside you as your wife?
Well, she was, but like I said, she was such a support that she definitely wasn't showing it, right? Because she's picking up the slack, right? Because a lot of times, I love to cook, but then, well, she has to do most of the cooking. Like, if I can't do the housework, well, now she has to do the housework. And during that time, she was also the bread giver, and she's still the bread giver, right? She's making the money, and it's crazy. You watch some of these shows, and you have one person that's bringing in, that's making all the money, and then usually the other person should, there should be a balance, right, in a
Yeah.
relationship. But she was doing it all. And like I said, by the time I was like in my early 40s, I was looking forward. I was like, oh my God, it's like, just seeing where our relationship was going. Like, we don't really ever get into arguments, because I learned really early on, if I effed up, to shut up.
Good plan.
But that doesn't mean I was pleasant to be around with, right? Like, because you
Mhm.
don't know how unpleasant you are when you're miserable.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
It's it's very easy to fall into that because you're hurting, and
Exactly.
Yeah. So then at some point something shifted in you. You must, it always starts as a mind shift.
Yes.
What kind of shifted in you that started your transformation?
Yeah, the shift was, I always tell this is a, you can call it a romantic story, a corny story, whatever, how I got the girl. But, like when me and Minna were going out in high school, she used to carry this car and driver magazine around everywhere. And the Lotus, Esprit was on there. Like, it's like, that was her dream car back in 1988. And nonchalantly, I'll say, hey, I'll buy you a Lotus, and then we can get married, right? And I was thinking, it's something you say, right? Just to get the girl. And when we were 35, I got Minna a Lotus, right? Like, I fulfilled my promise and I got her a Lotus. And it was really funny when my friends first saw it. They thought I was a drug dealer. How the hell you afford this car? Blah, 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 blah. But the point is, the Lotus was something that I promised her, I fulfilled. But it was such an uncomfortable car to sit in if you have a body of a 70-year-old. Like, I got to say, right? Because it was extremely low. It was extremely bumpy. It handled like it was on rails, but it was very hard to get in and out of the car. And, the turning point for me was when Minna says, look, you can't even drive this car anymore. You look, we look silly getting out. She hops right out. It looks like some old man's climbing out of the car. And I had to sell the car. And that broke my heart too. To this day, it still broke my heart. It's sort of like, that's something, if I had the opportunity, I would buy that car back, which I don't. But, it's like, man, there are points in your life. And to me, that was like broken promise, right? I gave her, I gave a promise and I broke it because it was my fault. Right. So that really, put a shift into my mindset. Like there's got to be a better way. There's just got to be, I'm done listening to all these doctors, all these specialists. There's, and then you hear all these miracle stories all the time, right? I want to be the next miracle.
So in this period of time, Minna was kind of your caregiver, as opposed to your more a caregiver than a wife almost.
Yes.
And was she experiencing burnout and exhaustion? And
I'm sure she was. During those times, she was probably the heaviest she was. And of course, I'm not trying to say women, but in general, people, when you gain weight, you lose confidence and stuff like that. And it you can see how it's affecting her. But like I said, she never will bring it up. Like she'll support me all the way. But like I can tell she was getting angry, and then like my family is not the easiest to get around with. So not only is she keeping a smiley face with me, but whenever my family's around, oh my God, she has to deal with them too. Like that's the way I feel. So I can't imagine what the way she feels. So it was definitely, difficult for her, and I saw that. And it was just interesting because when we're just talking into the future and think, oh, these are all the beautiful places that we would like to travel or retire to, and I'm going along, but in my head I was like, how the hell are we gonna do that? I can't even sit for longer than 10 minutes at a time. Like, how am I gonna hop on a plane and travel for hours to go traveling? So it's like we're planning, but I really didn't see myself in that future with her.
Oh, yeah, of course not. That would, you probably at some point felt like you were an old guy married to a young woman. How could you possibly keep up?
And it doesn't help that she looks 20 years younger than me already, right? So
not anymore. Maybe back then, but not anymore. And so that accident had a huge impact on your relationship. And
definitely.
And then so what I think we need to do here is take a quick break. But when we come back, I'd like to find out the mind shift you made and what actions you took to heal yourself. That would be really interesting. I'd love to. I mean, you had a broken neck.
Yeah.
Let's find out what happened.
Perfect. Sounds like an interesting plan.
Okay, we'll be right back.
A life empowered is closer than you think. We're all looking for a better way. Reimagine what's next with a new sense of exuberance. Why not power on like you mean it? Or power off blissfully? A better sleep is a better awake. You've never moved like this before. With the energy nature intended. Imagine reprogramming the way you look at the speed of science. At longevity. At exhilaration. It's next level rejuvenation. Take control of your well-being from the inside out and outside in. The light within is ready to ignite. Be the light. LifeWave.
Imagine a life where every day is fueled by energy, vitality, and purpose. Where age is just a number and your best years are always ahead. Hi, I'm Andy Nam, certified functional nutrition longevity coach, best-selling author, and international speaker. After reversing my own chronic health struggles, I'm now on a mission to help you live longer, stronger, and of course, to look younger. I combine biohacking, cutting-edge nutrition, and stem cell technology to unlock your body's full potential. So no matter where your starting point is, I'm going to guide you toward a chronically healthy life. Ready to reverse aging and take control of your future? Connect with me today. Your journey to longevity starts here.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Chronic Health Collective. We are here with our own Andy Nam, who is a functional nutrition and longevity specialist. Andy.
Yes.
So let's get in. So you were in very extreme agony. You'd broken your neck, your back was bent, you were aging ridiculously. And it was deeply affecting your relationship with Minna. So what was the mind shift that happened that what made you start searching for, I mean, other than realizing the doctors weren't helping you or them telling you, well, you just have to suck it up?
It is funny because like I said, for a good 20 years, almost 20 years, 21 years, I listened to all the doctors, I followed what the trainer's saying. I was out of the gym, I was working out 1 or 2 hours a day, even though, it hurt, but I was doing it. Right. And I remember it's like, I think it was my 38th or 39th birthday that year. I competed with some friends for a badminton competition, and it was funny. It was a doubles competition, but like I was wrapped up in that duct tape. You know how they have those athletic tape is wrapped around my ankles, my knees. It's like I look like a mummy, and then like I pop like I can't remember like 5 or 6 pain medications, and I'm good to go, right? Because everything's numb, right? And we came in second. I was happy, we won, but I honestly, in my head, that was my last retirement game to play badminton. And I love badminton, but I was in so much pain after that. I was, holy crap, this is no joke, right? But when we sold the car, it was very interesting because we sold the car to a gentleman, younger kid. I was just curious, what's he do? And, he was in a company that sold supplements, like, nutritional supplements. And he was saying, oh, Andy, this can help you. And I was like, hey, I've been taking supplements for the last 20 years. And, I'm telling him I'm buying Costco, I'm buying GNC. This is the one Rocky uses, right? It's like, I'm good. I don't need no supplements. And he's, no, Andy, you don't understand. And during the time I had a closed mind. I wasn't listening to what he said. But like, we're at a Starbucks, and he was talking my ears off. Because I guess he's trying to make a sale. Minna's with me at Starbucks, and then Minna's giving me the let's go look, right? Like the Lucas look, right? And then I just told the kid, I said, look, just tell me everything, right? Because he says there's a 30-day money back guarantee, Andy. I was like, oh, perfect. In my head, I was gonna try it and return to get all my money back, keep the kid happy, shut him up, and move on in life. And that's really where it started my journey. And surprisingly, like 2 weeks in on one of the specific supplements that that supported joint support, like is like 2 weeks in, about 2-3 weeks in, I'm turning over to Minna and say, hey baby, something's wrong. And the last time I said that, I had a kidney stone. We need to go to emergency room. So she was already saying, oh, what just hold on, relax. I said, no. And then I just sort of swung my legs off the bed and I was able to get up. And I was like, what's going on? Because I used to roll off the bed every morning, and here I am. I was able to swing my legs off like a normal person, right? This is not something I've been doing for probably 15 years. And, that sort of led me on the journey. I said, what the hell is in these things? What are these magic pills? And that sort of started my journey, saying, that, it wasn't specifically the magic pills itself. The pills were providing me what my body was lacking.
Right.
Right.
High quality vitamins. I mean,
Yes.
people, Costco, anything on the shelves in Costco or at the grocery store, they're just sugar. Just don't even waste your money on them.
Well, there's just so much junk in there, and then there's
Yeah.
so much toxins in there. But more importantly is what you see on the label may not actually be in the jar, right? And these are things I didn't know, right? Nobody knows that. But I dove in, I visited the facility, we started selling the supplements, and I still sell the supplements, and more so I use those supplements daily to this day. Not quite as much now, because my body now is getting more and more what it needs naturally. But on those days that I know that I need a pick me up, and I know I haven't been eating right, well, you need to supplement, and people need to understand that, right? Because it's hard. People say eat the rainbow, eat this diet, eat that diet. You're always going to be missing something in your diet.
Right. Yeah, it's true. I do object to, I'm a big believer that you have to discover what is right for you, because my friend who's a vegan thrives, but I don't. And but at the same time, I have friends that swear by bread and cereal, and they've got and I really can't eat those things.
Correct.
So for fruits and vegetables, for me, that's where it is. So
For sure.
and roast chicken. but you got to find it, and then supplement. Yes. And so
that
so
really just started my journey as to, wow, our bodies don't get everything we eat. Right. And from there, that's when I started diving into all the different modalities, following different doctors, scientists, got my certifications and multiple nutritional, coach certifications and stuff like that.
So during that period of time where you started realizing, from that moment when you realized I can move,
yes,
let's get more of this. What started shifting with your relationship with Minna?
It was interesting, because now we were traveling more, right? Because we used to just plan it, but we never actually did it, right? So seriously, like once I started on my journey, oh my God, I think in the first 2-3 years, we did more travel than we did for a while, like back to back, right? And it was exciting, because like when we travel, I don't have to be being in pain in the bed and resting a little bit after you travel. It's like, wow, our feet land in the country or the city, and we're off. What are we gonna do next? Type of deal. And it was exciting. It was I married my high school sweetheart, and it almost felt like you ignite that spark all over again. That spark was reignited, and you can do all the crazy shit you did as kids again. And it was fun. It was fun. Like, I'll be honest, it's fun,
Of course.
And I think for me, Minna, it's like everyone knows Peter Pan, right? Peter Pan and Wendy. I swear we're the real life people of them. We're never gonna grow up.
Yeah, well, that's overrated. Well, it's normal for relationships to evolve. And many
Yes.
people who are high school or college sweethearts and marry eventually grow apart. They lose their ability to communicate on the same level. They've either grown in different directions or for whatever reason. But you guys seem to have grown together more because you went through hell with that.
Right.
And Minna did too. I'm a caregiver and I know how hard it is to be a caregiver.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
and so that's amazing to me that you guys. So what about your communication skills and everything? How did you keep that alive?
My communication skills sort of sucked, like I'll be honest. And I'm working on it. I think I'm getting better in these last 11 years. I think I'm getting better. But one of the things that kept our marriage alive, kept our relationship alive, is no matter where we were in life, we were supporting each other, even though it may have stopped the other person's dream for a while. Mm-hmm. Right? Like for instance, just dialing back a little bit, like when I got in my car accident, I'm in Canada, Vancouver. Minna actually got accepted into a prestigious university. She got accepted into McGill. She got accepted into all these universities that were far, far away, like on the other side of the country. And because of my accident, she stayed. Right. So to this day is like, I don't know if that would have affected how her life would have turned out. Right. There's regrets there. Right. Mm-hmm. But she made that choice to stick with me, good or bad. And I think that's where relationships are. Right. If you promise, everyone wants the good. Right. But there's always some bad in the mix. Right. And, I really believe when that bad comes, that's usually when your true love actually comes out, because like, are you going to leave the person or are you going to stick by them? Mm. Right. She stuck by me. And like I said, in the last 30 years, since, 37 years since we've been together, we have had a lot of ups and downs, but we always stuck through it. There were some times that were tough, but, I think, and every time you stick through it, and you have a common vision, you become stronger out of it, So I honestly believe, our love is growing stronger now than when we first met, because when you first met, you got puppy love. You don't even know why you love that person. You say it just to, to get what you want, right? I'll just leave it at that.
Especially when you're 18 years old.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. So then it seems like, you guys have really gotten the hang of navigating your differences, working out the sticky points, and it's communication's always the foundation. So that's pretty cool. So what's it like? Give us an example of how you navigate those differences, because I think that's something important for people if we can shift into that would be pretty cool for all of our relationships.
Yeah, let's put it this way. In a relationship, there's always going to be one person that is probably stronger in mindset. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Or they may have a clearer vision of what's going to happen down the road or what they want in life. Right. Because what happens down the road is you design that. I believe that. Right. But you want to know what you want as in life, what your final vision is. Mm-hmm. And men always knew that. Right. I'm always, 5-10 years behind what she wants to do. And I'm slowly catching up. It's like when we're in Canada, going together, she wanted to move into California probably for 10 years before I decide I wanted to go. And to be honest, I didn't even really decide, because she said, I'm leaving, and she left. She actually got up and left. Right. So, and we talked about it. Right. And of course, when we got to California, oh my God, like our life probably went, some people talk about 10x. Our life probably went 30x, maybe even 50x. Right. But, but what have we done that 10 years earlier? right? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then 4 years ago, we decided to move to Texas from California. And of course, Minna wanted to move to Texas way before that. So like I'm just joking, like, hey, look, it's cutting down. The first time it took 30 years before we moved to California. Now it only took 20 years to move to Texas, right? So, but but our final vision of where we want to be, like how we want to retire, where we want to live, what we want to do, was always the same. And we need to figure out how to get to that destination, right? So even though there are certain things that she believed in or I believed in, and sometimes they clashed, they don't always mesh. But our end vision has always been common and always been the same.
Mm-hmm. So in the California example, she just got up and you realized, I better.
Well, that one was pretty close, but like, she sort of hinted along she wanted to leave California, but California, yeah, we both need to get out of Dodge for that one, for sure.
Yeah. Well, so I know you guys are both definitely on the same page about health, the longevity, the functional nutrition and all that. That's very clear.
Yes.
And I personally, know you guys, and you guys are perfect for each other. So
thank you so much.
But even then, it's still, it takes work. And so what about the fun? How do you, like you travel, but what about like just daily? Like how can you work some fun into your daily routine so it doesn't become drudgery?
We're boring, like, I'll be honest, we're boring. Of course, I'm always telling people, like sitting is the new smoking, but I'll be honest, like me and Minna, we do enjoy, couch time, enjoying something that we both like to watch, right? And surprisingly, I like watching rom-coms, right? And the funny thing is, comedy and laughter is so important in life and so important for longevity, and it actually just boosts your happy, your happy chemicals, right, in your head. And it's when we're together, it's almost like you're dating all the time, right? And of course, we're foodies. We believe that at least once a week you need to dress up, you need to go out, right? Because like most people date only when they first are going out, but they don't do it anymore once they're in a relationship. We go to watch movies, but like we make an event out of it. And like I said, we've been together for 37 years now, and we try to keep it fresh. But even some people work out together, we don't. We do our own thing, and that's okay. That's okay, right? And even certain foods we try to eat, and generally 80% of the same things. But there's certain things that she loves and certain things that I like, right? Yeah. So there are some shifts here and there, and I think that's important. But foodies is what we love. We like traveling, like you said, and we love seeing new places, but we like meeting new people. It's especially me. I'm such an extrovert, and I'm getting her out of her shell.
Well, listen, Andy, I think it's time for another break. But when we come back, I'd like to continue this and expand this idea of health and longevity into the relationship.
Perfect.
Okay, we'll be right back, everyone.
Are you ready to finally unlock your biggest dreams and live the life you've always wanted? I'm Candice McKim, and I invite you to join me in the manifestation magic process. Whether you're dreaming of that perfect business, financial freedom, or more joy in your life, it's all possible. With manifestation magic, you'll shatter common misconceptions that keep holding you back, learn the secrets of attracting your deepest desires, and activate the magic of sacred synchronicity. Head to CandiceMcKim.com and start creating the life of your dreams today.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Chronic Health Collective. We are here with our own Andy Nam, a functional health expert. So, Andy, you and Minna, 37 years, went through an absolutely devastating health crisis for you. And obviously, you are not in that state anymore. So can you kind of share, what do you do on a daily basis? I've heard you say a couple of times about you were working out really hard and it was hurting you. What is a misconception about that about working out?
It's interesting because I'm a certified personal trainer too, and I got that certification just to get an understanding what they teach personal trainers, right? And personal trainers are amazing people. Like they can help change lives, but I think not they in general, most personal trainers, they get the misconception that all you want to do is get those six-pack abs, look like the Hulk or look like Cindy Crawford. Dating myself, what's a hotter girl nowadays? I don't know what the girls are in now, but anyways, everyone wants that dream body, but some people aren't meant to have that dream body, right? And to be honest, having that dream body doesn't mean that you're actually healthy. You look good on the outside, but you literally could be rotting on the inside, because like a lot of things that they do, some of the supplements, and we touch a little bit on supplements, but more so about how much you need to work out. The body isn't repairing itself faster than you're breaking it down. Like you want to break down the body for muscle to grow, but if you break it down too much, well, it's not growing back, right? Now you actually cause damage, right? And that's what I found is like, for me, is like for 10, 20 years, like, I was able to bench press a lot of weight. Like, me and my best friend were scrawny little Chinese guys going to gym, and we were benching as much as big goony black, like African American guys, right? But it hurt my back, it caused tear in my shoulder, right? But hey, it looked good during the time, right? So I think a lot of people, they get in the misconception that you need to work out a lot to be healthy. In my mind, in my studies that I've done, you really just need to have pretty good movement for 30 minutes a day. And that doesn't have to be heavy lifting. It could be swimming, it could be walking, right? But you want movement that have different range of motion throughout the day. So like if you're a house mom, man, you're an athlete because you're moving groceries, you're lifting walks, pots, and lifting your kids, right? So a lot of people don't realize that, like your job can be your workout daily, right? And I think people don't understand that. They may have a very demanding job, and then after that, they go out and work out for another hour or whatever it may be. And they have no way of knowing if their bodies are breaking down faster than it is because no one's telling them how to monitor that.
Yeah, well, I would think if pain would be an indicator, like
but the funny thing is, you go work. Oh yeah, you can get some pain. That just means you're getting stronger. Yeah, I believe that. That was stupid.
That whole no pain, no gain thing was really
exactly.
Yeah,
you got pain. There's something going on. That's all I got to say.
So I'm guessing that as you were making this transition, that Minna was making it with you. So did she start implementing things like this as well?
Yeah. So, we tried different things together. I like the more sports side. So I got her into badminton. I know she didn't really enjoy it, but to me, it was more of a show sort of thing. But, she's more into like yoga, Pilates, more of the more calm, smooth motion things, and which is great. She's, she loves meditation, and meditation is something I need to work on. I think we all need to work on some meditation, but you need to sort of find your thing. And then we enjoy walks together, right? She does some strength training. We do some suspension training at home, but it's funny, we don't actually train together because I think she doesn't like me yelling at her for one.
I wouldn't like that.
And then too, I when I'm training, I'm in that coach mode, and it's like, oh, you need to do this. Well, you can't say that to your wife, so it's better off that we do our own things. But no, we're very strong in different aspects for sure. But we try to figure out which we like and move in on that. Like work together on that and find time for each other to do that. Like we're traveling, then we do more walking, right? Maybe we'll get some swimming in.
Oh, right. Swimming.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand Min is much more of a fish than you, Mr. Sinker.
I'm not a fish, I'm not even a life jacket. I don't even know. People say you normally float by yourself. That's not me. I struggle to float.
Oh, that's funny. Hopefully she'd rescue you if you were in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
So now you've been through this very dramatic journey. You've really started to come together with your vision for your life together. You travel a lot. You work out separate because that works for you, which is very important. And that seems really proactive to me, as opposed to reacting.
Yes.
So what do you think that it takes to invest? Like, what can couples do to really invest? They want to you have a couple, you want to be together. Maybe you've struggled with communication or something, but you want to be together. What are some things that couples can do to kind of make that reconnection?
Well, it's a tough conversation, but I think all couples should really sit down together and plan for the future, right? It's like everyone gets married till death do us part. Well, what the hell does that mean, right? It's like, is it going to be a happy life? Is it going to be a crappy life? Like, am I going to be living on the streets? Am I going to be living, in a nice place, right? It is so important that, you have a life plan, right? And for me and Minna, we don't exactly have a perfect life plan, but we know where we want to be when we retire, when we want to retire. And, once you have that, then you have to sort of take steps, for both of you individually, looking at what you're doing. Is that getting you towards that goal, right? And once again, if they don't have to line up perfectly during the time, but it should still be, should still be stairs heading up to the top of the staircase, right? We're going up. You can't have one going that way, right? So I think that's sort of important to figure out where you want to be. And the other thing that I really want to get couples to really think about is you really don't need to hustle that hard, right? Because a lot of people, they're thinking, oh man, so-and-so is a doctor, I need to work harder. And, it's interesting. I look at the friends that are the most professional, the ones that are making hundreds to $1 million, they got no time for their life. They don't have time for themselves, right? Because they're hustling, looking that, oh, I'm going to have all this money in the future and I'm going to enjoy it when I retire. And all my friends are on some type of medication. And I think when you retire, all the money's going to your kids because you're not going to be able to enjoy it, right? So, I think, you have to think of strategies, where the money's going to go a little further, right? Just, that's how we left Canada to California. Like, our money stretched 15%. And from California to Texas, it easily stretched 30 to 50%. So even though making the same amount of money, now we can actually enjoy life more. And of course, we're looking at Mexico and other places, which are extended another 50%, right? But I think a lot of people are so ingrained. No, I'm stuck in California. If I die, I'm going to die in California, even if I live on the street. That's just silly thinking, right? It's like you got all this knowledge, you got all this, ability to have a better life. And I keep telling people, you're not a tree. Just get up and move. You're not rooted in one place. If it's not working out for you, it's time to go, right? And Minna's really good at that, obviously, because she's gotten me to go a few times. And I think it's important because, like I said, sometimes you may need one person to be that person that sort of like, hey, we're sort of drifting off course, right? But at the same time, I tell people now, I know so many couples, they should not be together. Like they're yelling at each other at a time. They're giving people each other dirty looks when they're sitting among friends or sitting apart, right? And I honestly believe if things aren't working together, you lost that spark in the very beginning. Maybe there's someone else out there for you. It's like talk it out, and maybe it's better apart, regardless if you have children or not, right? Because I grew up in a very dysfunctional family. All my siblings are married or horrible relationships, even when they're still together, but they're staying together for the sake of staying together. And I honestly believe is like, well, if you want to be in a happy relationship with someone, there's someone there out there for you, but you need to go out there and look for them, or you have to be available for them, right? But if you're staying in a crappy relationship, that's never going to happen. And meanwhile, you're just making it miserable for not just yourself, but everyone around you. And people don't realize that. It's like, like there are those couples, wow, they're coming. Well, I'm not going then, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So you never want to be around people with negative energy. And, and if that's the case, you just have, sometimes it's the right thing is to let them go,
Yes, and it doesn't have to be a nasty, vicious fight. It can just be
No.
an agreement of
Exactly. It doesn't have to be anything like that. Just say, for instance, if say your husband and wife, and the wife wants to be the CEO of Google, for instance. Okay, whatever. I'm just making stuff up at this point. Right. But the husband is just sort of happy being, well, if you do that, we're not going to have time to do all this. But she's, no, but this is going to give us so much more opportunities, all this money. But, for her, maybe it might have been more of the recognition that she wants. And then in which case you have to have that talk.
Right.
Right. Does she really want that for, both of you together, and where your lives are actually going to be better? Or is it just for her? And if it's just for her or just for him, I'm not trying to pick on the wife. Yeah. Right. I just use that as an example because women are powerful now. Right. And men need to figure that out, because men always thought that women should stay as housewives. And dude, women are smart now. Right. They can make many times more money than us. And that's okay too. Right. But, the main thing is you have to have those values lined up. And maybe during that time she's making more, other times you're making more. It doesn't matter, right? You can make a friendly competition out of it, as long as there's the common goal, right? I think that when you're looking, it's just like anything else. When you go setting for career, you talk about what's going to happen 5, 10, 15 years. I think that's very important for couples to do too. It's like, we're 5 years from now, where do you want to be? Do you still want to be living here? Do you want to be retired? Do you want to be a different job? Right? Where do you want to travel? Right? And 15 years from now, it's like, how's our health going to be? Because I find that people are hustling so hard. Like I said, their health is gone. And it's interesting. Usually it's not equal. If it's equal, you both get old together, that's still better. But it's always one person that suffers. Right? And for me to, almost have a deja vu of that happening earlier, I'm never going to let that happen again. It's like,
I wonder, this is just projection at this point, because there's no way to actually know this, but I wonder if you have a sense that had you not made this shift and had continued to deteriorate, I know you said, it was really stressing. It was very stressful for Minna as well. And do you think you would have been able to stay together, or?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Like, I don't think I would have left Minna, but it wouldn't be right for her not to leave me at that point, because like I said, it was getting to the point I was just really unpleasant to be around. It's funny because during those years, me and Minna were always joking. We look at the pictures that we took together, even when we're traveling. I'm never smiling. I'm always have this, glarings. And to me, I thought I was looking cool, right? That's what I'm telling myself. Right. And then after I started getting better, like every single picture smiling, and I'm just doing it naturally. You don't know, right? So like I said, I know I was in a bad place, but I don't know how bad of a place. Right. And I start seeing that. And like I said, if there's no change, and once again, Minna supported my change, because every time he's like, hey, this is gonna work. Well, if you think it's gonna work, let's see where it's gonna go. right? She couldn't say, well, forget it, just stay on your damn medication and listen to the doctor, and that's that, right? The beauty of it, in these last 10, 15 years, not only did I reverse my chronic conditions, but like, Minna had a few underlying, conditions, and both of us gotten much younger in the last 10, 15 years. And like I said, our biomarkers all show, mine's like 9 years, hers is like 15 years younger than her actual age. So, we're not just saying we look younger. We are actually younger inside too.
Yeah. It's so hard to imagine you as an old crank because you're just so naturally happy and cheerful. It's like,
oh, you have to have a talk with Minna. She'll tell you some stories.
Ooh, get the inside scoop. That's a tough one. Yeah, because you're just always so sunny.
Well, and I was always the comic, even among my friends. And, back early on, like that's usually how I should, use the high pain and stuff like that. Right. But, me and Minna, we don't think people should take life so serious, because sometimes if you take it too serious, when you get knocked down, you can't get up. And I think that's a big problem, right? For us, if you think, well, yeah, that sort of sucked. That was stupid. I did that. And even now, it's like, as early as last year and this year, I've done some pretty stupid stuff that lost some money. I was like, well, that was stupid. But ministers say, hey, you sure you want to do that? Well, it looked good during the time, right? And once again, it's a learning process, right? But she supported me on the way. The main thing is, well, that was stupid. What are we going to do to fix it? What lesson did we learn? Right. And I think it's important. It's a constantly learning, and, for all the couples out there, it's constantly learning how to love each other more each and every day,
Exactly. Well, you obviously walk your talk, and that's really gratifying because lots of people don't. So, hey, Andy, so how can people reach out to you and if they want to talk to you or work with you?
Yeah, so the easiest way to reach out to me is at chronicallyhealthylife.com. We have I have a QR code that you can scan for a free 30-minute consult. On there also is Longevity's new L word. I have a free book that you can download, or you can buy it. You can pay for it, but if you sign up for our newsletters, you get it for free. Ooh. And of course, since we are in February, we're talking about relationships, and this is something that we've been building for the longest time. Like I said, me and Min has been together for 37 years, turning on to 38 now soon. We decided to release our Foolish Couple Love program. So it's going to be like the Foolish Love program. And, it's going to have a lot of strategies that we talked about a little bit today. Of course, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into it. But, it's going to give you strategies on not just how to stay together, but how to grow old. A little bit more on, on having commonality in finances and health. It's everything what a relationship should be, But more importantly, it's about how to keep the relationship fresh, how to keep it strong as you get older. Because, I honestly, it's funny because people say, oh, you want to lift 150, be pushed around. I said, no, me and Minna's going to be walking on the beach at 150, holding hands while I'm watching kids play on the beach, right? It's like, I don't even have that vision of being in a wheelchair or read in the bed ever again, So, it really is the mindset, and it's so important for us to grow old together, but staying healthy.
Absolutely.
Oh, one last plug. Almost forgot. To sign up for that program, it's foolishcouple.com. Just foolishcouple.com.
Foolishcouple.com. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, are we going to be right back after
yeah, we're going to be right back to this message.
Okay. Welcome back to the Chronic Health Collective. I love that. That was, you guys are so cute.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was so skinny back then. Oh my God.
So do you have some closing thoughts for us, Andy?
Yeah, I think the closing thoughts I like to have is you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So always take care of yourself before you can take care of others. Don't let your health ever get down to the point that it affects the people around you. As opposed to relationships, support your significant other in their goals, because you don't know what exciting ways places are going to lead you to. But always plan ahead. I think it's very important to plan ahead and have a common vision together, as you're holding hands walking down the beach.
I definitely want to be on a beach.
Yes.
And then so really communication is everything. Talk about everything, work together as a team, a unified team. And it's okay to do separate things. Like we learned, you guys don't work out together. And I know you eat peanut butter, but Minna doesn't.
Yes, exactly.
And
well, thank you for interviewing me today. It's flipping the script. But next week, I'm thrilled. I'm going to be interviewing Erin Lay, coach of the coaches. So that's going to be an interesting conversation. But join us here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. CST for more tips to up-level every aspect of your life. And if you want to catch up on past episodes, make sure you go on to e360tv.com. On the Vitality TV network, or onto our YouTube channel at Chronic Health Collective, actually. So until next time, everyone, please stay healthy, have thriving relationships, and we'll see you next week.
Ciao, everyone.